Good day, everyone. Today, our group will present on a very sensitive but important social issue in Malaysia, that is, baby dumping. We will explore its causes, impact, analysis, and most importantly, the possible solution. Baby dumping is not just abandoning a child, it represents deeper social, moral, and cultural problem in our society. It shows a failure in a family support, education, and community responsibility. That's why this issue matters, because protecting innocent lives is a test of our humanity. Our objectives are simple. First, to identify the root cause and the effect of baby dumping. Second, to analyze it through Rakan Negara values. And lastly, to propose a practical and compassionate solution that Malaysia can adopt.
Hi, I am Heather Ali. I am going to cover the causes and impacts of baby dumping. So starting with the causes, this slide covers the three key causes of the baby dumping. First one and the most important one is the poverty. Many families, especially young or single mother, feels they can't afford to raise a child without a financial support. They may see no other option. The second one is the social pressure and the stigma attached to the this topic. In many cultures, unwed or teenage mothers face judgment and rejection. Fear of shame often drives desperate decisions. The third one is the unwanted pregnancies, often resulting from rape or incest. The emotional trauma and lack of the support can lead to abandonment. The core message is simple but powerful. Desperate and shame often led to dangerous actions. Baby dumping is usually an act of fear, not cruelty. This slide focuses on the emotional and the social challenges that can lead to the baby dumping. First, teenage pregnancies. Many young girls lack the emotional maturity and support system needed to handle parenthood. They often feel overwhelmed, scared, and unprepared. Next, next one, the denial of paternity. When father rejects the responsibility, the burden falls on mother without emotional or financial support. Many feel abandoned or helpless. Then, then we have the weak support network available to these uh, women. In many cases, there is little or no help from family, community, or the government services. This isolation can be deeply damaging to these women. The end result of all these factors is that many mothers feel trapped with no way out. In that depression, some make tragic decisions like abandoning their babies, not out of cruelty but out of fear and hopelessness. This slide focuses on how health, disability, and lack of education contribute to the baby dumping. First, health issues. Parents struggling with mental illness, physical disabilities, or substance abuse often find it hard to cope with the demand of their raising a child, especially without a support system available to them. Second, when a child is born with disabilities, family may feel overwhelmed and unprepared for the lifelong emotional, financial, and medical care required. This can lead to abandonment or out of fear or hopelessness. Third, the lack of education, especially around the sexual health, legal rights, or available support system, leaves many people unaware of the safe alternatives like adoptions or shelters available to them. In summary, ignorance combined with isolation often leads to abandonment of the babies. Many of these cases are preventable with the right support system and education for these people. Now, moving toward the impacts of the baby dumping, this slide will focus on the broader social impacts of baby dumping. First social impact of baby dumping is with the cases of the baby dumping surface. When the cases of the dumping surface, they shake the public trust in the families, communities, and the support system available to all of the people. People begin to question whether we are really supporting those in crisis. Next is the moral debate. Who should be held responsible for these? Is it the parents who abandoned the child, or is it society for failing to support them in the first place? Third, these cases highlight serious gaps in education, especially in sexual health and life skills training. Many young people simply don't have the knowledge or tools to make informed decisions. Finally, the issue becomes a public concern, often sparking national debate and call for legal and social reforms. This slide is going to cover the wider impact of baby dumping across systems and society. For government and for government and policy perspective, these cases often push authorities to create shelters, set up baby hatches, and strengthen the child protection laws and regulations. Next one is the psychological tool. Mothers may suffer long-term guilt and trauma, while children who suffer often face identity issues, wondering why they were abandoned at first place. Then there is the health and legal burden. Abandonment of the babies often require emergency care, and their cases place added pressure on both hospitals and justice system. In short, the issue of baby dumping affects every layer of the society from top to bottom, from the individual to institution level. It's not just a personal tragedy, it's a social one.
As you can see, the numbers are alarming. In 2010 alone, there were 470 cases of baby dumping in Malaysia. Between 2010 and 2019, over 1,000 cases, most babies found lifeless. Even in recent years, cases remain around 100 per year. Yes, awareness campaigns and baby hatches helped, but stigma is still going on. This proves short term fixes work, but long term prevention is still missing.
Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. Now we will continue our presentation with the reading summaries. These are based on the three articles about baby dumping in Malaysia. These articles give us real statistics, expert opinions, and social views. They also highlight both challenges and possible solutions. Let us start with the first article from Birnama 2024. This Birnama news report shows that baby dumping is still a big issue in Malaysia. In first 9 months of 2023, 96 cases were reported, and in the same period of 2024, there were 75 cases. Many involve young mothers who are scared and under pressure from society. Even the police said that stigma and bad online influence make it worse. Baby health centers do help and save lives, but article says the real solution is a society that is kinder and less judgmental to these mothers. Now we will discuss our second article, Wiki Impact 2022. Wiki Impact said that Malaysia has about 10 cases of baby dumping every month, and sadly, many babies do not survive. The main reason are lack of this sex education, low awareness among teens, and stigma. Because of the shame, many young mothers don't ask for help and end up making unsafe choices. The article suggests more sex education in schools, private counseling services, and a community that shows empathy. NGOs that run baby hatches and hotlines were praised for giving mothers safer options. Now we will move towards our third article, Code Blue 2020. In this article, Dr. John Doe from Code Blue said baby dumping is not only a crime but failure of society. In first half of 2020 alone, there were 53 cases, almost one every 3 days. He explained that punishments and baby hatches give only short-term help, but the real answer is prevention through better sex education, access to contraception, and less stigma against unmarried mothers. His main point was prevention and compassion work better than punishment. Thank you.
So, I will talk about the philosophy of various religions on baby dumping. For example, from Islam's perspective, life is a sacred trust from Allah. The Quran clearly forbids killing or abandoning child due to poverty. In Islam, baby dumping violates the concept of Khalifa, our duty to protect the weak. So this act is both a legal crime and a spiritual sin. With respect to other religions like Hinduism or Christianity, Hinduism views children as a divine blessing. Abandonment breaks the dharma of parenting and creates negative karma. Christianity teaches that every child carries the image of God. Jesus said, "Love the neighbor," and the child is the nearest neighbor in need. Both faiths emphasize abandoning a child is a deep moral failure.
Two principles from Rukun Nagara applies here. First, believe in God, which means life is sacred, morality must be guided by divine values. Secondly, mutual respect and good behavior, which means society must reduce stigma and show compassion to vulnerable mothers. Together, this principle calls us to protect children through empathy and not judgment.
As a group, we realized baby dumping is not just caused by mistakes, it's caused by lack of guidance, awareness, and strong values. Even in a Muslim majority society, cases keep rising, especially among youth. This shows how urgent the issue really is. We also learned the values of teamwork. Discussing a taboo issue pushed us to think critically and respect different opinions. We realized silence makes problem grow. The biggest lesson: we must have the courage to speak openly about tough issues.
Now, let's look at some possible solutions to prevent baby dumping. First is education and counseling. This is the key. Schools and families can provide guidance, proper sex education, and emotional support so that young people understand their choices and feel safe seeking help. Next, we need to build a compassionate society. Campaigns that reduce stigma and encourage empathy can make it easier for the mothers in crisis to ask for assistance instead of abandoning their babies. Third is policy measures. They matter. The governments can expand baby hatches or safe surrender points and strengthen adoption programs, giving infants a secure future. Lastly, religious or philosophical support. This can play a role by promoting care, kindness, and empathy as shared community values. Together, these approaches create a safer environment for both mothers and babies. To conclude, baby dumping is a complex and multi-layered issue. It doesn't just affect the abandoned child, but it also impacts the mothers and the families and society as a whole as well. Although stats show some progress over the years, the problem still persists and requires continuous attention. The real solution is education, support systems, and value based reforms. Strong supportive systems should be there, and reforms that should focus on shared values. And finally, guided by Rukun Nigara, we must remember that every child deserves protection and care. Thank you.